My name is Olivia. I teach math at a school. I am 35 years old and I live alone. My life is quiet and simple. Every day I go to work, stand before my students, and teach numbers. I like my job very much. My classroom has many desks and a large board where I write equations each morning. My students listen, ask questions, and I help them learn. That is my life, steady and calm, until the day James walked into my classroom. It was the start of a new semester. New students came in, found their seats, and opened their books. As I looked around the room, my eyes met his. James was tall, with brown hair and kind blue eyes. He sat near my desk, smiled softly, and in that moment, something unfamiliar stirred in my heart, a warmth I didn't recognize. I tried to push it away and focus on teaching, but as I spoke, I kept thinking about him. James listened carefully, asked good questions, and learned quickly. Every time he smiled, my heart fluttered, and I felt guilty for noticing. I was his teacher, he was my student. This was not supposed to happen. After class, when the room emptied, James stayed behind. He approached my desk and asked, "Miss Olivia, can you help me with this problem?" His voice was polite, his smile sincere. We sat side by side as I explained the numbers. I could smell the faint scent of his cologne. My heart beat faster, but I forced myself to concentrate on the math. When he finally understood, he smiled again and said, "You're a very good teacher." His words stayed with me all night. I couldn't stop thinking about him, his voice, his eyes, the way he made me laugh. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't make the feeling disappear. A few days later, after class, James asked if I would like to have coffee with him. I hesitated, knowing it wasn't proper for a teacher and student to meet outside school, but something inside me wanted to say yes. So I did. We met at a small cafe near the school. He was already there when I arrived, waving from a corner table. We talked for hours about music, books, dreams, and life. I told him things I hadn't told anyone in years. His attention made me feel seen and alive. When I tried to remind him that I was his teacher and we should be careful, he looked at me seriously and said, "I know, but I'm not a child. I'm 20. I know what I want, and I like you." His words left me speechless. From that day, something between us changed. We met secretly, trying to be careful, but soon others began to notice. People whispered. Students talked. Teachers watched. The day my boss, Mr. Brown, called me to his office, I already knew what was coming. He looked disappointed as he said, "Olivia, people are talking. Parents are angry. This can't continue." I nodded silently. I knew I could lose everything, my job, my reputation, but I couldn't let go of James. Soon after, the decision came. Mr. Brown told me that the school could not keep me as a teacher. My career ended that day. The whole town learned what happened. People whispered when I walked by. Friends stopped calling. My mother cried and asked why I had done it, but I couldn't find the words to explain. I felt lost, ashamed, and utterly alone except for James. He never left me. He came to my house every day, bringing food, holding my hand when I cried, promising, "We'll be okay, Olivia. We'll get through this together." He found a job in a shop, worked hard, and became my strength when I had none. One evening, James said quietly, "We can't stay here anymore. This town will never forget. Let's leave and start again." I thought for a long time, then nodded. We packed our things, left behind everything familiar, and drove far away to a small town where no one knew our names. We found a little house with a garden, bought simple furniture, and began again. Life there was peaceful. We walked in the park, laughed, cooked together, and watched the stars at night. For the first time in months, I felt peace. One afternoon, by a quiet lake, James stopped walking. He looked into my eyes, took a small ring from his pocket, and knelt before me. "Olivia," he whispered, "will you marry me?" Tears filled my eyes. I nodded and said yes. It was a simple ring, but to me, it was everything, a symbol of love, faith, and our new beginning. We had a small wedding in a little church, just the two of us and two kind witnesses. No one from our old life was there, but that made it perfect. Now we live quietly and happily in our new town. I teach math again, but from home, giving lessons to local students who need help. James studies business at a nearby college and works part-time. Our days are filled with simple joys, tea in the morning, flowers from the market on Sundays, laughter in our small garden. Sometimes I still think of the past, of the whispers and judgment, but they no longer hurt me. I know that people never understood, but they didn't have to. I understand. I chose love, even when it cost me everything. James chose me when the world turned against us. We lost a lot, my job, my reputation, my hometown, but we found something greater. Our love survived every storm. It grew stronger with every test. Now, when people ask if I regret it, I always say no. Real love is never easy, but it is always worth it. Love asks us to be brave, to take risks, and sometimes to start over completely. James and I found real love when we weren't looking for it. It wasn't perfect or easy, but it was true. We built a new life together, day by day, with gratitude and hope. Every morning, when sunlight fills our kitchen, I am thankful for him, for peace, for second chances. Our story may have begun in whispers and loss, but it ends in strength and love. Because in the end, love always wins.